Everybody, it's Teepa and Beth. Yes, and we're going to demonstrate for you the use of hand under hand to establish and maintain boundaries. Particularly, this is sort of important when you have somebody who's in an amber state and in a lot of seeking behaviors. Because when you're in an amber state and you seek, you can seek with your eyes, but if your eyes make contact, the next thing that's going to happen, almost universally, is the touching. And so if she starts touching this, then she'll start feeling what she feels, and then it gets really interesting. And so this is where a lot of people get really uncomfortable and nervous. And even if I'm not, unfortunately, I'm not the only person Beth's going to run into. So even if it's not me, it could be somebody else. So what I'm going to do is, as she starts to do the reaching behavior, she shows me with her eyes what she's interested in. I'm going to work with hand under hand, and we'll see what happens, because we haven't tried it yet. I just said we're going to work on boundaries and touching. And Beth is like, okay, I'm in. And we're an amber state, and she's a seeker. So we have fright, flight, fight, hide, or seek. And Beth is into seek mode. And so if I go into hide mode, all that means is Beth is going to seek harder because she wants to seek and I want to hide. Not a good combo. So I'm not going to do a hide. I'm going to give her something to find, and then I'm going to see if I can modify that. And you're going to see me possibly use one hand with the other for gesturing or offer opportunities, or I might go into double hand under hand, but I'm not using it to restrict. I'm using it to define the boundaries. So let's see what I do. So Beth starts to do the reach, and I'd go, Beth Nolan. Oh, yeah. Me. Yeah. Hey, Beth. Yeah. Yeah. Tell you what, come this way. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. Oh, good job. Now, at this point, what I've got is, this actually is a boundary mark. I've got my forearm and her forearm. My forearm is here. If I reach over into this space, given what I've seen so far, yeah, I'm going to have to get ready for a lot more touching. And then if I get to the front and she makes eye contact, then I've got to get ready for the face touching. So this is where, if I'm in this position and I want to show her something, I will literally take my shoulder and rock it into her. Because what I'm saying is, oh, we're already connected. And now I'm going to, look at that. And I'm going to put things in her range, and I will shift out of her range. Yeah, cheers. Cheers. There you go. Yeah, cheers. Now, what I did is I just lifted this up for a second to say, yours, mine. That's all it was just a yours, mine. You have one, I have one, cheers. Yeah, because it was over her way, but I don't want to emphasize that. So if I want her to do things, I put things in this zone. And I'll show you, if you look down, we've actually established sort of a surface here for Beth. This is where Beth's space is. And this is where potentially putting out like a placemat or something might be helpful. Might not. She might just pick it up and mess with it. I won't know until I start. So if Beth starts again, she decides on something interesting. Hey. I'm going to go now. I don't know how quickly you noticed it, but when I went, hey, we're going to go. And so immediately I'm using this side of my body as sort of a boundary marker. I'm using it as a guide, but it's really awkward. Beth, turn toward me. I mean, yeah. If you turn toward me, what's there? Well, it's not you. It's not me. Because I've actually arranged to be here for her, but this is the thing I'm going to use to guide and direct. And I just happen to be present with, ooh, check that out. Oh, now. See, that, and then this. Oh, look at you. Look. Oh, wow. Now, can you do it? Now, there's, no? Huh. Here, let's see here. You got it? Yeah. Let's see. Oh, no, wait, it's stuck. Oh, there it goes.
See.
Yeah. Here you go.
Oh,
now,
there.
what do you notice I'm being super careful of, Beth? What can you tell them I'm being really careful of?
You're not taking it from.
I'm not. Am I moving into your, like, am I doing this?
The concentration was, there was enough going on with your hands.
Yeah, and my fingers moved in, but my fingers only. So one of the biggest mistakes we make, I'm back here on the side of your arm.
Each time.
Yeah.
When you were here, the first thing that touched was forearm.
Was there.
And it shoved into my side as well.
And that's that recognition of that's yours, this is mine. I'm over here out of your space. If you're doing something over there and I gesture to it, that's okay. If I choose to move here, what I've said is, and I would like to be part of your work. And it's like, yeah, I really wasn't looking for that. And that's the biggest mistake we make is if I do cue, I've got to cue way far out. You've got something, hey, Beth, right there. And again, where do you notice my body goes immediately? Oh, yeah. Back out of the zone. So my hand was here. I gave the cue. Then I backed up. You got it. Nice. And over here on this side, much stronger cue to her to do something. And this time I'm using my right hand and my left is available as a boundary marker. I'm still present with her here because I've got to use my right or as that boundary. So if I'm helping her here, let's say I'm here and I'm doing this here and she's sitting. So we'll readjust here for a minute and we'll switch out camera just a little bit low. Actually, we'll do what we can. So Beth is here. And let's say I'm doing something with her feet and legs. One of the mistakes that we make is we lean in and down. And now, oh boy, I've got stuff going on up there.
See, now this is,
that is. And so, it's you've got something really tight there.
Yeah,
with this up here. Yeah, that needs to be tighter.
Yeah.
I see. You're absolutely right. Hey,
yeah.
Look down here. And right down here. Here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And when you're doing that with the lotion, here you go. Let's put some lotion on. And now you do it. And again, as Beth moves into this field, I'm back in this field. And so whether it's hand under hand giving that boundary marker, or whether it's my body indicating boundary marker, I'm establishing if I want Beth to do something, if I move into this zone, visual field, I'm giving her permission to put her hands on me. And that's not my intent, maybe, but that's what I'm saying. So the boundary marker I'm establishing is I give her the side of my body, which is a lot less interesting, frankly.
Together.
Yeah, we're together. And yet I'm with her and I'm willing to lean into her a little bit if she likes that kind of contact. Yeah. And I always have ooh or ah because she's a seeker. So finding out, are your person more of a hider, a seeker, a fright, flight, fight? What goes on for them, whether it's joy and pleasure or whether it's discomfort. But Beth is really comfortable with me putting body on. What she may not like as much is that.
Okay.
That's not okay. Just like it isn't okay for some of us. So what I want to do is figure out how to create that sense of boundary, but yet be very present. And the reason I have to be very present is she needs my support. She needs my skill. She might need me to help do some things, but this is where a tiny bit is enough for Beth to frequently get it. Now, if it's more than that, I have to be prepared that if I'm doing a lot of touching on Beth, I've got to give her stuff to touch. So if I'm having this and she needs to touch, I've got to be ready. Oh, thank you. That's wonderful. Here. And I can try to see if I can engage her down here. Here, you do it. Because what I did is I established a sensory pattern. Here's the boundary. You're doing your own legs. I'm giving it to you, and then I take your hands and place them where I just did it. And I'm trying to trigger in your own brain, do this thing that you just felt. And so I'm filling in half the equation. Can she fill in the other half? And again, I think some of the things that we're talking about are not intuitive. People don't think about that stuff. They don't process it that way. And it matters. It turns out it matters. If I have something that draws her eye and I have it on here, what I basically issued is an invitation. And so, yeah, you liking that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's really pretty. Now, and again, what I'm doing with my other hand is keeping her shoulder forward, which keeps her head forward, which keeps her from noticing my necklace again until I slip it down in and realize I need to quit wearing stuff that draws her eye. Because if I keep doing it, she'll keep doing it, not because she's trying to irritate me, but because I keep drawing her eye. So, Beth, any thoughts or comments you want to make as the other participant in this?
You know, I don't usually get to do the switch part
Yeah.
and play this part of it and just let myself go extrovert. I didn't feel like you were setting boundaries.
I do. Yeah.
It felt absolutely together, and especially the arm, the shoulder, and the arm. It's just, I got all my knees back.
Yeah. Because in this case, if I'm out here doing this, we're not two people. I mean, we are two people. We are not a unit. When I'm back here and we're doing things, I'm already totally committed with you. And because I'm not shy about being in your intimate space here on the side, your brain is all about, oh, well, we're already connected. Why would I want to connect more? Because there's stuff out here now that I can see. And we're doing it together. And that's, so this arm I have across my own arm is just for me to keep my hands to myself unless I'm doing something with it, because I need to respect the boundary as much as I want her to. And often without realizing, we're the first ones that break the boundary. And then we're surprised when the other person feels like, okay, well, if you're doing it, I'm going to do it too.
You're also resting it on the top of my knee.
I am.
Which I've learned from my OT friends. That's actually a nice little proprioceptive. So I'm getting another touch here.
Yeah. And so I've got my elbow into your hip, but in a friendly way, I'm just here. I'm not driving my elbow like the sharp part of my elbow. It's just resting there. And then I take my shoulder and put it a little behind yours. So I've got your elbow sort of moving forward a little bit and down and in. And it's sort of instinctive for me, but I don't know how instinctive it is for other folks. So if it isn't, rehearse it, practice it. If it comes naturally, great. You'll be a shoo-in for working with somebody who's an extroverted Amber who has a lot of sensory need. And then I've got to look at environments and what can I do to help support that. But I also need to train other people, because if I'm doing this much to support Beth and other folks are not, they're going to find her incredibly intrusive. And yet she isn't, if she gets the right support. All right, everybody. Till next time, take care with care. We're off to another town in Indiana. See you later.
Hi, I'm Tifa Snow, and you just found our YouTube channel and watched one of our videos. I'm the owner and founder of Positive Approach to Care. Thanks for watching. And if you liked, if you have a comment about, or you would, please share it with people you know. Oh, and if you haven't yet done it, consider subscribing. We'll let you know when the next new video comes out. And you might want to visit our website, www.tifasnow.com, where you'll find other resources as well. See you there.